Hello everyone, welcome to the IEEE SIESGST podcast, where we bring a very insightful conversation on the technology, emerging domains, and the career journey that matters to the engineering students. I am Kushendra Vedak. We are focusing on the on-demand topic that is data science. We are very thankful to have with us Miss Pranita Mahajan. She is a data manager at RELX and with over 17 years of experience, uh, including research, academics, and industries. She is currently working on applying data science, generative AI, NLP, and uh, NLP in healthcare sector. She is a PhD holder and uh, PhD holder in uh, text mining for healthcare application from SV NIT Surat. So the today's topic is navigating data science career insight for college students. So ma'am, welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pushindra, for the warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about the transition from data science, rather the career insights for the students, especially sharing my insights from my own experience, specifically the things probably what I would have been knowing when I was pursuing my engineering or my college or early career. So excited to be here. Thank you.
Yes, we are also excited to carry forward this conversation and exploring your journey. So I like to understand what's your journey and how you start and how you transform your career from academics to the industry.
Okay. Yeah, so I was a regular, like all of you, a engineering student. During my final year engineering, I worked on a project wherein I had developed a conduit which will translate or transform the information from the palm top, which doctors used to carry those days, to the electronic medical record system. And then it was simple connectivity of a handheld device to the desktop, which will transfer the data. But as it was in the medical domain, I could see that it was making their life more easier. It was quite interesting for me, and then this led to my interest in the healthcare domain basically. Then after as I was into teaching earlier as well, in even if when I was learning that time as well, I used to teach my peers, and I used to teach the younger students there who were in 8th standard, 10th standard. So teaching came naturally, and I was passionate about teaching, so I joined academia. So in academia, that time getting into masters was basically it was mandatory, I should say. So I pursued my masters, but then it actually inculcated my interest into learning natural language processing, applying those learnings into healthcare domain. So during my masters, I was working on a project which was actually analyzing the text and reverse engineering the text into diagrams such as UML diagrams or the class diagrams which you people draw. So to narrow down again that research further, I pursued my PhD, wherein I tried to basically collaborate between whatever I had learned during during my masters and what I was teaching. So it was more into machine learning and natural language processing and how it can be applicable to healthcare domain. So to narrow down my research, I started my PhD journey, which was actually a interesting journey wherein I learned a lot of, like, it is not only learning, it was also unlearning the research perspectives and relearning how a research should be pursued.
So can you tell me what you motivate to specialize in data mining and NLP?
Yeah. So during academia, I started teaching students like Visual Basic. That was like quite long, 2005, 2006. So I was teaching them Visual Basics. Naturally, the progression of it was into Java, C++, C programming. And then there was an era of statistics into or analytics, basically data engineering those days. So I started teaching R programming and Python, and then this is how the progression naturally went into data science. And then I started teaching machine learning, natural language processing, and the syllabus was quite a project oriented syllabus. During vacations we used to take short courses for the students, wherein we used to teach, not only teach them but also develop small scale projects along with them. So this is how I got into data science.
Okay. So your journey is really shows like how the continuous learning helps in the industry roles. So nowadays there data science is a very hype word. Means everywhere you go, like in YouTube and everywhere there are some ads they showcase like
Mm-hmm.
if you do the data science course you get 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs as a
Agree.
freshers. Is
Yes.
that reality or not?
Uh, yeah, agree. So these are hyped words: data
Mm.
science, NLP, Gen AI, and everyone will, run behind those words. What matters more is skill. It doesn't matter what is your degree, from which domain you are coming. What matters is your skill set, your critical thinking, analytical thinking abilities. How do you approach a problem? How do you solve a problem? Most of the time there will be problems which are really complex, but then how do you break down those problems? So it's not only about doing the like it will not guarantee that you have completed this certification course and you will land into a job which will be 5 figure or something. No, it's not like that. You need to build a foundation, you need to build skill set which is required for data science. And I'll say that skill set is not only programming, but it is also analytical thinking abilities. So you should be able to ask right questions, not only to the data, but also to the model which you have developed, also to the stakeholders. Clients will come to you that, okay, this is the system which I want to develop, but then those are maybe non-technical people. So you should be able to ask them right questions to gather the requirements which will be needed for development of a data science project.
Okay. So can you just restructure like what are the domains in the data structure? Like when I am studying the AI and ML, then I get learned that this is a part of the data science, not a different. So some people confuse that data science is different, AI and ML is different part. So how?
Okay, yeah, yeah. So these are actually umbrella terms. So when you say artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence will have machine learning into it, and machine learning, there is also statistics. So the foundation is basically your linear algebra. It comes from statistics. So you need to, if I may talk about how one should pursue their data science journey. So, as I mentioned, it's an umbrella term. Machine learning is, let's say, you are studying some algorithms, you're applying those algorithms, you're learning the maths behind the algorithm. Data science is more of applying those machine learning algorithms into developing a solutions which are real life solutions. So it may not matter that you are building a solution which is using a simple linear regression, but then if it is fulfilling users requirement, clients requirement, and solving the problem which they are facing in day to day life, that is more important than developing some complex algorithm, but which is actually not building the solution which is required by the stakeholder. So I'll say that yes, it is the progression or the learning journey would be from learn the foundations, the statistics, the basic statistics probability which is needed. Then you should learn about the machine learning algorithms. The maths behind it is very interesting. It's sometimes the students feel that, okay, if I can use the library, then why should I learn
Yes,
the
yes,
algorithm how it is
algorithm.
working? But what I feel that whenever you are pursuing an engineering degree, the degree, if you go through the entire curriculum, the curriculum is designed so that you will be system engineers and not application engineers. So there is a thin line between the system engineer and application engineering engineers, wherein you will use something to develop some product is application engineering. You will develop those frameworks, those architectures for the other people, so that they can, or these can be the domain experts, they can use it further. So being an engineering student, regardless of which branch you are coming from, I feel that you should pursue your learning journey towards being a system engineer, so that the foundations are important to be learned basically. Yeah, and then whatever evolution may happen, like nowadays you see, when 2 years or 3 years before, there was no LLM, there was
Yes.
no hype of Gen AI. Within 3 years, it changed a lot, that on a click, everything is there. So you will feel, okay, let me use this. But
Yes.
tomorrow, you never know whether it is going to be there or not. So if your foundations are strong, it is just a new technology, it's just a new tool, which you will eventually learn.
Okay, so how, like, there is a question like how student can approach to learning, because there are AI there. So like example, if a student try to learning Python language, R language,
Hmm.
now they are not learning that the basic. They are just go chat GPT and tell. So
Hmm.
how they can strong their basics
Yeah.
for the data science?
Okay, so that's really a much needed question, I should say, because when we interview candidates, specifically at the beginner level, we have seen that they struggle with very basic syntax of like loading the libraries as well. It comes from a lot of dependency, blind dependency on the tools which are available. So my suggestion would be that whenever you are developing, whenever you're starting your learning journey, let's say now we today our focus is on data science. I'll talk about data science. The learning should be project based learning, so you should start developing the projects. These initial projects can be very small scale project wherein you are just trying to learn, probably, let's say, to be specific, that okay, I want to learn how k-mean works. So I'll first thing is I'll use the library, but then later what I should do, that okay, I'll try to see, can I customize something into the existing library, can I understand what parameters are there, can I fine tune it. So again we go back to the ability of asking a right question. So you should be asking, okay, am I understanding the basics behind the algorithms or the libraries which I've been using? So blindly, it is always avoided to use these tools blindly. But then nowadays, again, as you need to adapt to the culture which is there in the industry. So yeah, I'll say that earlier there used to be a team of uh, data scientist, junior data
Yes.
scientist, who used to work at the beginner level. So these students or these candidates used to be a fresh engineering graduate. But nowadays, with the advantage or with the evolution of Gen AI, what has happened? These are nothing but the agents which are developed. So let's say there will be a let's hypothetically assume that there will be a post agent manager, and this person will only give the requirements to a tool, let's say cursor they are using in their organization. Those requirements will be given, and then it will develop a product. So I'll not say that do not use these tools. So you should have your hand on these tools which are being used by industry, but at the same time you shouldn't be dependent on these tools. You should be able to work even without these tools. You should be able to use these tools probably to automate the mundane day to day task, which might not be a productive task, which might be just eating your productive time. So there you should use it, but your thinking, your critical thinking abilities shouldn't be overpowered because of these tools.
Okay. So what you say like, so how be the students with the industry ready? Like,
Yeah. So for them to be industry ready, again, only degree will not land you into the job. Only certification may not be sufficient. Skill set, as I mentioned earlier. Second thing, internships are important. So right from your beginning years of engineering, maybe right from second year, first year, uh, joining some internships, working on some projects. These internships sometimes may not be like a very high profile internships. It can be very small scale internships. You can even join your professor if they are pursuing some research, and then it can also be a internship. It can also be considered as internship, that you are assisting your professor for pursuing some research or developing some projects. But like when I see beginner level profiles nowadays when we take interviews, those profiles will have list of 8 to 10 projects which they have done, but these projects are like those routine projects which are available on a click everywhere on the internet, some github repos which are taking replicated, and the same mundane data sets are being used, same mundane algorithms are being basically used. So that may not help you stand out your profile in the bunch of other profiles. Also nowadays in the industry, the first scrutiny of the profile is not manual. Earlier it was the case that HR or the hiring team used to sit and manually read the profiles, but nowadays it is not the case.
Yes.
Nowadays it is all machines. So those algorithms, those applications are reading your profile. So whenever you are applying for any openings, for even for the internship, it is very important to read the job description which they have shared, and then probably tune in your profile and skill set, develop your skill set according to the profile which is required. So that will surely help
Okay.
uh, to get into a good job basically.
Okay. So what type of common mistake the student do while building their portfolio and their resume?
Yeah. So the one which I mentioned just now, that they pick up the projects from here and there and they put it in their resumes. Sometimes that might not be a very commonly seen mistake, but I've seen that they generate their profiles using the
AI.
AI models which are there, and then they forgot to, or probably they trust a lot on AI than that of themselves, that they forgot to review and correct those profiles. And I've seen people, okay, sure, I can help you with building your resume, is such sentences are there in the resume. So these are few of the cases which I have seen. Also, as I mentioned, that your profile shouldn't be it will not be one t-shirt fit for all the applications, for all the um, um, job descriptions wherein you are applying. Basically, one CV will not work, one profile will not work. You'll have to work on making your profile which is job description specific, and of course you should have those skill set which you have mentioned in your profile. So sometimes we have seen that profile is very hi-fi, but in the interview they are not able to speak about what they have developed. So maybe the requirement will not be that, okay, write a syntax of this particular um, mm, or particular sentence, or like if use dictionary, or like those won't be the questions nowadays. They'll try to see, okay, what is your thinking approach, how do you think, how do you, given a new problem, how do you break that problem, how do you ask right questions whenever a problem is posed to you. So
Okay.
these are the skill sets.
As you mentioned, like student have a unique project. So as a beginner and as a fresher, like what the unique project they can build? Because as a beginner they don't have that much knowledge.
Yeah,
So they go YouTube and search what are the trending
agree.
topics.
Yeah. So there, what I should, what the, like the things which I have mentioned earlier, that in a year or in a semester, you should make sure that I'll develop at least one project which will stand out from the crowd. There shouldn't be like 10 list of projects. You need not have 10 projects in your CV. After the, like at the end of your 4-year degree, even if there are 4 decent good projects, that is sufficient, which you are able to talk about from the scratch. And whenever you're talking about the project, you should be able to talk about, okay, what motivated you to take this project, how you approached the solution, what problems you faced while developing that project. So these are more important questions than that of the syntax and semantics behind the project. So for students, as I have mentioned earlier, uh, in a group of 2 or 3 students, they can develop something, participate in hackathons, present your work in various competitions, with which what will happen, there will be learning from the peers. At the same time, you will get to know that where the world is and where I should be, right? Okay, how much, what skill set uh, is required for me to stand in the crowd basically. So you can be with your professors, you can be with your peers, and basically project based learning is a good approach to build the portfolio.
Okay, so along with the skill exposure, to the real world problem is equally important, especially in a specialized domain like healthcare. So can you tell like what uh, project you do in healthcare?
Yeah, so as I said, that our field is it is evolving. It is evolving so much. There is so much of development day and night, and there is something always something new. So earlier, we in the healthcare domain, as I mentioned during during my engineering, even my masters, and for my PhD as well, the work I was into healthcare, and the work was more around applying machine learning, applying deep learning, developing some solutions for the clinicians which will help them in their decision making. So nowadays we are more towards making those systems more personalized systems. Like if I'm talking about a patient, then again it will not be one solution fit all the patients. So it has to be patient specific solutions, it has to be condition specific solutions. So we are working on that. We are working on making machine understand human language, human intention more clinically. So like there are in healthcare, it's the language is absolutely different than that of our normal day to day language. So we are trying to build the systems which will make these machines be more clinically oriented than that of just a normal language conversation agent.
Okay. So can you tell how data science is transforming the healthcare technologies? Like how nowadays there are AI that can analyze the X-rays better than the doctors. So how?
That's a that's a very strong sentence, that AI can analyze the X-rays better than the doctors. Uh, with my experience, again, with my experience till date, I have never seen a system which is intelligent enough to replace any doctor or any domain expert for that matter. The systems whichever we develop are always human in loop systems. So system will never take a decision specifically in healthcare, finance, and legal domain. The systems will always be there to help them take their decisions, um, within by reducing the cognitive load on them, like reading a lot of material, or maybe reducing the time wherein they are doing some mundane task instead of their applying their domain knowledge. So the systems are mostly on the side of helping them in better decision making and reducing their cognitive load and saving their time, so that uh, they can focus more on building their expertise.
So what challenges you face when you try to create a project? Like how can you get the healthcare data like there?
Yes, that's a big challenge. So, like when you are working on the project specifically in healthcare, and let's say you are an independent researcher or independent, you are studying independently with no tie-ups, then it is very difficult to get the data sets. The major, of course, in data science, major data science project is major requirement is data basically.
Database.
And then if that data is biased data, then apparently garbage in garbage out it would be.
Okay.
uh, Again, there are a lot of data sets which are available, made available by government, so you can use those data sets. In healthcare domain, there are repositories which are from US government, Canada government, and Australia as well. There is a lot of data by their government. But then in India, if you want to pursue, then my suggestion would be, instead of using that data, we should use the data sets which are from the India, our location basically, so that not to have that bias in the models which we are developing. But yes, the data is available.
Okay.
You need to sign some contract with them. These are privacy preservation contract, and after that they'll give you data for study purpose. You cannot commercialize the model which you are building,
Okay.
but you can definitely study.
So working in, in such a domain also required a leadership and collaboration, especially in industries. So as a manager at RELX, you lead and mentor teams. So can you give us how you do that and how you're leadership experience?
Uh, so yeah, as I was earlier in academia, I was teaching students, mentoring students. So over the period, that came naturally. Um, in industry, leadership is same. So like, let me talk about this, that how you can develop your leadership qualities basically. uh, so it's not only degree, it's not only the technical skill. You should also work on the skills such as ownership, persuasion, consistency, leading, your soft skill basically. Soft skill is more important than that of your technical skill. So such events, organizing such events, participating in extracurricular activities, leading, even if it is a small event, that will definitely help you inculcate these qualities in you. On the similar line, it helped me. Like when I was in academia, I was teaching and mentoring students, which helped me a lot in my current profile, I should say. Yeah.
Okay. So, what separate a good data scientist from a great one?
Okay, that's an interesting question. Building something which will take stakeholder requirement, and the solution will be developed, is a job of a good data scientist. But who will be the great data scientist? Who will give something, some hidden stories from the data, some hidden insights from the data, which stakeholder will also get surprised with, that hey, oh, this was a kind of insights which were available in my data, but I couldn't see those, or like. So a great data scientist is a good storyteller, is a good presenter, and is someone who is not only developing, but also evaluating the system which they have developed. And nowadays it is very much important to be ethical and responsible. So these are also the two qualities which are important when you are pursuing the career in data science, that the system which you are developing is ethical, it is responsible. So what do I mean by that? That it is always producing the consistent result, and there is a enough transparency in the result, that okay, this is the result my system is giving, and this is being the result, this is the basically reason behind the result. So
Okay.
yeah, these are a few things which will make you a great data scientist.
Okay. And can you tell me how the industry has transformed after the coming of the AI models? Are they using in their work or what?
Yeah, definitely. Industry is so much looking forward to using these advanced AI systems in their existing products, but also not completely relying on those AI systems. So, as I
Okay.
earlier mentioned,
Yes.
there is always a human in loop. There are systems which are robust, responsible, and ethical, with which the products will be more user friendly, so that it will understand users' intention precisely and produce the results with high quality.
With this all experience in mind, student would love to some direct advice from you. So, what advice you should give them?
Okay, so start early. I should say that start early. Even if you haven't started yet, it is never late to start. Um, Start building something with your peers, with your professors, with your mentor. Take the ownership of whatever you're doing. Um, I'll say pursue your analytical thinking, ask right questions, and enjoy your learning basically.
Okay. And how can a student can get into the data science domain without having a CS background and
It is
IT
ab-
background?
yeah, yeah, it is absolutely fine. It's not necessary that you should come only from the computers background, or you should only have a computers degree to get into data science. There are people who are from physics, statistics, mechanical, civil. I have seen in my field, I see that there are doctors who are now into data science
Okay.
because they have a greater domain knowledge. You need to build the skill set which is required for data science.
But how industry look that people like if there are person that came from a mechanical background and there is a person that came from a CS background, then
Hmm.
what company should trust more? that CS background student or the mechanical?
Yeah, so as I'll repeat what I have said earlier, that it doesn't matter what is your degree. What matters is that how well you are able to like answer the questions which are being asked, or how well you are able to defend the projects which you have developed. Rather, my again, it is my own experience and my own perception that I have seen people with different domain along with data science skill set are being preferred more as compared to just a computer science,
Okay.
but average or mediocre data science skill.
And the reason why industry prefer them?
Yeah, because they are not only carrying the data science but also the domain expertise
Okay.
which might be needed further, so they need not train them for that domain expertise.
So how should student deal with rejections?
It is quite obvious to have rejections and failures. I'll say these are not failures or rejections, these are feedbacks. So take every failure as a feedback, try to improve from there, start, restart. Like during my phd is many downs and very few ups. So it is that this is one skill set which I have learned my during my phd, that rejections are actually not failures. These are the opportunities with which you learn, unlearn and learn, relearn things.
So these are very uh, practical takeaways that student can directly apply in their lives also. So before we conclude, I will love to hear some quick and some short answer from, like, there is
Okay,
just
like
a
a
question, rapid.
rapid fire. Okay.
So one skill every aspiring data scientist must develop. One skill.
Analytical thinking.
And how?
So for analytical thinking, you need to ask questions to the data, to the model, to the stakeholders. So you will think critically. You should always
Okay.
ask right questions.
Okay. And one mistake students should avoid while learning data science.
Reusing the projects which are already done, blindly using the tools. This is huge mistake.
Okay. So without, like you said, ki repeatedly project. So what type of project they should focus, like, nowadays?
Yeah, so the projects wherein these, it will solve some real life problem. There should be
Okay.
some, so identify a problem instead of identifying a project.
Okay.
You should go and see, okay, what problem others are facing. It can be very small problem, but you will develop a solution which will be unique, which no one might have developed it yet. So identify a problem instead of a project.
Okay. So one emerging area students should keep eye on.
Okay, so now this answer to this question will differ from industry to industry, domain to domain, and even the technical field to technical field. So now we are specifically talking in healthcare
Healthcare.
and data science domain. So definitely nowadays a lot is going on in a Gen AI domain. So I should I'll insist that along with whatever you are learning in your degree, try to see what is going on in the industry in this Gen AI side as well. How can you develop the systems? Let's say a simple RAG architecture or probably a agentic architecture.
And what does success mean to you?
Learning, always learning something which I don't know is a success for me.
Okay. So I like to conclude this. So thank you so much, Pranita ma'am, for sharing your journey and giving the valuable insight. Your experience clearly shows how the data science career are built through uh, continuous learning and real world uh, problem solving skills. Uh, to our viewers, data science is not just about a tool; it's about a mindset and the impact.
Yes.
So start early, stay curious, and keep learning. Uh, so the so this bring to us the end of the today's episode of the IEEE SSGST podcast. Stay tuned for the more conversation.
Thank you, Prashandra. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
It was great talking to you. Thank you.
Welcome.